Hey everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Hopefully you are doing okay. I know this is kind of a tough time for a lot of people, so hopefully this will be a little bit of a break if you're having a rough time. I have a few things that I'm hoping to just chat about. If I can get my, I forgot to turn my Do Not Disturb on. So anyways, I'm not expecting a whole heck of a lot of people. I tried to do my tree cam today, but that didn't work. Let me just, for the normal spiel. Welcome to Break the Cycle with DSD. I'm your host, Duane. I am not a therapist nor an attorney. I'm an individual much like you who's developed some tips and techniques over the course of a difficult, toxic relationship divorce, where I develop some tips and techniques that I share with you to hopefully help you get your life back and minimize the effect of a toxic ex. Remember, only a licensed professional can diagnose somebody with a personality disorder, so do not go around telling everyone that you figured out who they are and what they have. Just don't do it. Sure, learn about it. Learn what learn what what's going on, so you have an idea of what the typical behaviors are and how to deal with them. But don't squander your credibility, because it's one thing we have on this, and you don't want to just hand it away. If you like what's going on here and you want to support the channel more, you can do that by becoming a channel member. Just look down below, look for the join button, and when you do, you get special badges, custom emojis, names listed in the credits, access to member-only events, which I was hoping to do one today, but I'm starting to run out of time while I have this little window when no one's at the house, and access to the member-only Discord area. If you want to get notified whenever, I forgot to do that today. When you want to get notified whenever I do either a premiere or a live, then text DSD Live, all one word, to 844-598-0012. That's DSD Live to 844-598-0012. And I might turn the phone lines on, so if they do come on, it'll be 1-424-373-5483 or 1-424-DSD-LIVE. So hopefully everything's working. Looks like we got a few people online. I'm going to check the comments here in a moment. Let me flip back over here. There we go. We got the little end song. Man, I was like babbling on and still was able to get the timing right on that. That was kind of weird. So I see a couple people in the credits. I see the Wise Chat Manager. Sorry we missed you the last time, but glad we got you today. And Alex is on as well. And Up Your Food Game says, yo, Merry Christmas. Let me do that. So, and then good to see you on again. So Alex says, Merry Christmas, as does the Wise Chat Manager. I hope everyone had an outstanding Christmas. I hope you guys did too. I had a pretty decent, had all the kids show up. So, which is good. They're over hanging out with their mom right now, and would come back. Actually, I'm not entirely sure when they're going to come back. So that could be interesting. I might, could cut the show short. So anyways, so whatever you guys want to chat about. Oh, Up Your Food Game, formerly known as Merge. Got it. All right, man. Yeah, you guys don't have to check him out. I've been talking to him about that. He's going to be creating a food channel shortly. Looking forward to it. He's been giving me some food advice, or how to cook advice, that I'm still trying to wrap my head around. And I should have got more water before I started, so I may have to jump off, or not jump off, but take a pause to do that. I do want to mention something. Let me see if I can pull this up. I do this mastermind with a buddy of mine where we talk about books and, just kind of like, whoa, that didn't work. Let me see if I can. He recommended a book the other day. Let me see if I can pull this up. Called The Obstacle is the Way, The Timeless Art of Turning Trials into Triumphs, written by, where's the guy's name? I think it's Ryan Holiday. Yeah, right here. Ryan Holiday and Tim Ferriss. This book, guys, is freaking amazing. It does correlate a lot with what we're going through, obviously, because we're going through some trials and tribulations, to say the least. But, and it's not talking about it in the context of divorce and all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, It is a great book. I was really surprised by it. I would recommend you guys check it out. If I had my Audible affiliate thing working, I would tell you to sign up for it and check this one out. I just finished it, and I'm probably going to add it into a rotation to where I listen to it more often. And he's got some other books which I haven't listened to yet, but I'm planning on it. But this one right here, The Obstacle is the Way. If anyone's read that, say something in the comments. I'd like to know what you thought about it, because I was incredibly impressed with that, to say the least. Oh, and if you guys want me to turn the phone lines on, just say, turn the phone lines on in the comments. So anyways, let me see what else is going on here. The other thing I want to mention, if you are not familiar, if you go over to my main YouTube channel page, over on the in the banner, there is an invite link for the DSD Discord. So if you want to be involved in that, just click on that. That'll drop you into the DSD Discord. If you don't have Discord, you would create an account. Don't use that link to go into it, because it's an invite link. It's not like a link to open your Discord. Once you're connected, you just open Discord and it'll be there. And it's a community of people who have been through some similar stuff that provide support. I think it's a lot better than the Facebook communities and stuff, because it's just a different group, not a group of people, but just a different phase. They're in a different phase of what they're going through. So let's see. Oh, Up Our Food Game says, so in our game, I guess Christmas is the most gaslighting season of all. Hope you are all doing well, and your children too. Yeah, typically, I know I've had my share of shenanigans, for lack of a better word. Not so much now. Things are starting to calm down, but after 10 years, let me back up. It's not that things have necessarily calmed down. It's that I don't care anymore, so I don't engage with anything, and then I don't push anything. It's like I just don't care anymore. And when you get to that point, it tends to mitigate what a toxic person is attempting to do, and attempting to create problems. Anyways, so hold on, I'm just checking the comments. I got for some reason, my Do Not Disturb keeps bouncing around, which I need to just turn it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to say 1 hour. Maybe that'll help keep these notifications from creating problems. So clicking through here. So any topics that anyone wants to hit while we're all hanging out? I should have keyed up some stuff first. I did want to talk about that book, which I covered. So I got that in the what's the word? In the bank? Can't remember. I was trying to work on my tree cam, but I realized I don't have a cable. My cable for the tree cam. Oh, wow, that didn't work. Ruh-roh. My cable for the tree cam is that light. Then we got my second camera, which is my color balance is a little off, but oh well. And then we got the main camera right here. So one other thing I just want to mention. If you're in the beginning stages of this, which is probably if you don't have access to your kiddos, and you're basically spending time alone. And I just got a comment from somebody the other day who's like, "Oh my God, my ex just left me." Guys, the holidays well, let me back up. Any important time, any of the important times are typically times when they will do stuff like this. So holidays are very common. birthdays, anniversaries, anything that's of a special event, then they'll try to do that. But a lot of times, I think typically what happens is divorces or all these separations and stuff tend to happen right before the holidays. So you're rolling into everything, dealing with this chaos. And if you're really unlucky, you're dealing with restraining orders and such, to where they've come up with ways, unique and interesting ways, so that you don't have any opportunity to see your kids, and you're just sitting there just dealing with this pain. I'm trying to turn my notifications off, but I'm still getting beeps and noises, so I apologize for that if that's coming through the air. My point on this is this: if you find yourself in the early part of this and you're really struggling and you're wondering what's going on, just know that if it's rough right now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be like this forever. So, one, don't make any mistakes. If you have an order of protection or some reason that's telling you not to reach out, don't do it. It's not worth it. I've seen too many stories where someone will send cards out to the kids and then get arrested for, violating a restraining order. And they're like, well, I didn't, trying to be, play semantic games. And you've heard me, if you've been around this channel for a while, I often mention, pick your battles and don't pick the wrong ones. And that would be a bad one, right? That would be one where you're like, oh, okay, well, I should be able to reach out and do this. And then the next thing you know, you're spending time in jail. Just don't do it. Play the long game. Don't play the short game. Don't play the, well, okay, I'm going to do something to try to circumvent it or play games with it, because none of these people care. Your ex isn't going to care. The family court system isn't going to care. They're going to basically look at it and say, hey, you were ordered to not do this. You did this. And now we're going to treat you differently because of it. Don't hand a victory like that to a toxic person. It's just not worth it. And I know, and I hopefully you have to let me know if I'm closing the loop on this, because sometimes, especially in the early parts of this, it's so difficult. It's so difficult to understand the long-term game on this, or the sprint, or the marathon instead of a sprint. And you just got to take a breath and slow yourself down and make sure that you don't make any colossal mistakes. I've seen a couple of videos recently where it's talking about people who've done that, or they posted and they're like, oh, I sent Christmas presents and I got arrested, and, or how about the Michael McDonald thing where that guy was just losing his mind and, just doing all kinds of weird stuff, and it just blew up in his face. Don't be a martyr to this. Your best, every one of us' best opportunity on this is to not get eaten up by the machine, and then ultimately being able to have a better life. Because I guarantee you, the thing that's going to annoy your ex more than anything is if you are living a good life, they're not able to affect your life and you basically escaped. If you want to give them a lifetime bit of supply and let them feel like they won, do something silly which gives them a colossal victory that destroys your life, and they know every day how much they've ruined and affected you. Don't give it to them. They don't deserve it. They do not deserve that victory. So do not, under any circumstances, give it to them. If that makes any sense. I guess I can post this on the screen. I just won't read all of it. So, Up Your Food Game has asked about any of the updates of the tragic events that have happened in 2021. As far as I know, the one in Texas, the one with Chad Reed. I wonder if I can pull that up real quick. Let me see. I wonder if I think I said, darn. Oh, is it R-E-E-D? Let's see here. Man, I'm not having a good time. Oh, might help if I spell the names right. Yeah, I don't think so. As far as I know, there have been no charges filed or anything like that, which is just really tragic. And then the other one I'm not sure of. I only know of right now. I only know of the Chad Reed one. Let's see. Oh, HC9 popped in. HC9 says, Merry Christmas all. Merry Christmas to you too. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, the Wise Chat manager said, not that I'm aware of. Yeah, and I hadn't heard anything either. So, anyways, I kind of made a video a little bit about that the other day. I'm going to read right back. So, stand by one. Almost spilled that all over the place. Anyways. Let's see. What did I miss over here? Oh, nothing. That's awesome. All right. I should have seen if anybody wanted to jump on with this, but I wasn't sure when I was going to be able to do this. I initially had planned to do it. I was hoping to do it right after 11, but I still had folks in the house. And then after the kids left, I was thinking it was going to be empty and it wasn't. So it just pushed everything back. Anybody know what the picture in the background is? Are you talking about that? That's just a weird painting. If you're talking about something else, let me know. Not entirely sure. Eggnog, I like that. That's funny. Hey, Cy Scooby just became a member. Thank you so much for doing that. Yeah. It's a Kandeski early work bot that Duane bought for an investment. Yeah, anything I do for investments generally crash and become non-investments. Oh, man. Oh, man, that's funny. Let's see. All right. I'm just swirling around here trying to get my notes and everything all set up. You know, one of the other things I want to mention or just talk about is, and this is kind of goes with what I was just talking about a minute ago, is you guys got to keep in mind that no matter how things feel right now, no matter, whether you feel like the whole world is crushing down on you, things, if you take the right actions, if you take the right steps and you work on yourself and you really try to mitigate what you're dealing with, you get your life back. And although it may not feel like it, although it may feel like this stuff is just going to last a long time, I can tell you, 10 years into it, there's still some stresses. There's still some stupidness going on, but if you don't allow it to corrupt every aspect of your life, it just can't, and it won't. So. Oh, I forgot to turn the phone lines on. So let me do that real quick. I got to turn the button on. Oh, I got to start it, and then I got to, man, it's been a while since I've done this. Let me hit the dial in. Yep, there it goes.
Thank you for calling Collins Studios.
Enter your 6-digit PIN.
All right.
Welcome, host.
So I'll get this
all
set up.
Host room and can manage your callers from the Collins Studio web interface.
Just waiting for this to stop. All right, so now I can punch it back in. Okay, so I did open the phone lines. So you can do that by dialing 1-424-373-5483. And before that starts, I'm going to do another quick intermission, and shall be right back. Test 1, 2. Ooh, yeah, I could do that. Up the Food Game says, will you open up the eCam interview lines? Yeah, if you want to do that, I could do that. Let me know and I'll send you the link. I do have a call coming in right now, so I'll finish that in a minute. Let's see here. Well, let me, how do I do this? How do I copy this? Copy link. Okay, this is probably a colossal mistake, but I'll post this in the chat, and we'll see what happens. And while we're doing that, I'm going to try. Oh, it's audio processing, so stand by one. Try to bring in the phone call. Yeah, it's Sandra. So let's see if this is going to work. It did not. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hi, Duane. This is Di.
How's it going? How you doing?
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you too.
Thank you. We have no snow here in Colorado, which is unusual for us this time of year.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
In the mountains, it got it, but where I live, no snow.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
A bad thing, because it reduces our water and makes a water shortage for here in Colorado, especially for the summers for the forest fires.
Oh, yeah, yeah, definitely.
It's going to be really rough next year for the water supply that we're, needing so badly. Yep. We need a couple of blizzards. Anyway, Duane, enough of that, but I called in because I so enjoy everything that you have done for us. And I've got a court situation going on. I've hired an attorney, and I'm really not feeling comfortable with him because, as all these guys just take your money and run with it, and you're really stuck with the outcome. I was wrongfully charged with a woman who came up from Texas to slander me to the community, curse me out, call me everything under the sun, telling me I was mentally ill, I'm senile, all these negatives. At first it did, I didn't know, I said something along the lines, thank you for the comment, went about my business, but she kept it up and provoking me into anger.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day I moved, and she deliberately parked herself behind my car in my carport with her and her boyfriend, threatening to beat me up, and wouldn't let me out of my carport. I couldn't move my car. So I had no way of escape other than to leave the carport, walk all the way around her down the breezeway. And as I did that, they came after me, kicking me, calling me all kinds of names. The list went on. And so when I reported this to the police department, they came after me and charged me with harassment. Totally unacceptable. Here I am with going on 67 years of age. And all I wanted to do was live a quiet lifestyle like we all want to do.
Yeah.
But this place was worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. And what my fear is getting in this trial, because they wanted me to do an anger management class for a year for a deferred judgment. I said, no, I'm not doing that, because you are putting her toxic garbage back on me, and I'm not accepting this. So I sent it to trial. I go to trial January 13th. But my concern is, because I've heard you talk about this so many times, you have to be careful about accusing people of the narcissistic behavior, but it's reversed. It's on me now, and it's that I'm mentally ill. Other than my attorney, what do you suggest that how I react to this?
Well, okay. I mean, right. Yeah, absolutely. So let me I need to just say this right off the bat. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a therapist. I'm just an average person. My concern going to trial is it makes it a lot more, the stakes get higher. Now, what's your attorney saying? What's your attorney recommended you do?
He told me I could do, he really didn't say much of anything other than the fact that the cops can't believe one person over the other, when he said that, all the information that I gave the police was perfectly fine, but the police has a hatred for me for some reason, which I don't know, and I could care less. He said, if you don't want the classes and that, then it'll just have to go to trial. He's, supposedly he's ex-prosecutor. He's been doing this for like 19, 20 years. So he's supposedly very experienced in this area, because he's a criminal attorney.
So let's say worst case scenario. You go to trial. Now this is for criminal. This is criminal court, right? Not civil. It's criminal. They're prosecuting you for harassment.
It's a misdemeanor. Yes, it's a misdemeanor is what it is.
So let's say you lose. What is the ramifications of that?
My guess is, I haven't asked my attorney this, because I was telling him I want this case dismissed. I'm not doing any classes for this. I refuse to accept this dishonorship of a veteran's widow, number one, and number two, the elderly part of me, that you are so disrespectful and hateful toward elderly people. But I don't know. My best guess, Duane, is that I get a fine, and maybe they still do the class thing. I don't know.
So, okay. I would double check with your attorney, right? Because you want to make sure you understand what's at stake, so that if things go south, that you don't find out whenever they, read something off and say, this is what's going to happen. The problem is my concern is you said the cops have something out against you. So for some reason, they've established in their mind a reputation or a pattern of behavior around you that is making it to where they don't necessarily side with you, right? I mean, it's like for whatever reason, they're looking at it and they're saying, did I lose you?
Yeah, no, I'm still here, Duane.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, and so here, let's say I was in your position. Okay. And, I found myself in your shoes. This is what my thought process would be. This is what I would do. First, I would talk to my attorney and I would say, okay, I don't agree with this. This is wrong. I'm being set up. This isn't fair. And I don't want to, to agree to something or even do the one where you're, I can't remember what it is. The one where you no contest, right? When you say, okay, you know what? I'm not going to contest this. I'm not agreeing to it. I'm not saying I did do it. I'm not saying I didn't do it, whatever. But this is, I would ask them to say, okay, what is the damage? Now, if my attorney said, okay, if we take this to trial and you lose, if whatever they itemized out was a deal breaker for me or something I didn't want to do, and I would look at it and say, okay, well, if I can just do no contest and take this class and be done with it and not have to risk that other loss, then that's what I would do. Then I would look at that. Now, if if I lost the trial was something that I could deal with, right? If it's like, okay, well, it's no jail time, it's a fine and, community service, whatever the thing is, if I'm like, okay, you know what, that I'm willing to, that's the bullet I'm willing to take if things don't go to try to prove my case. The second part about this is I would actually, talk to my attorney and say, okay, what are my chances of winning this? Why am I being, looked at like this is legitimate? Why is this? I mean, under the course of this whole thing with what happened, I mean, I was basically the victim. I got attacked. I got kicked. I was screamed at. But for some reason, in my mind, the perpetrators of this event are getting off scot-free and they're placing everything on me. Why is that? And I would really want to hear what the attorney says. Well, because, if they came back and said, well, Duane, it's because you did this, this, and this, and the way you said this, and, whatever. And if there was something in there, I'm like, oh, crap. I've kind of messed myself up. Then I would still default, if that was the case, then I would default to, okay, if you want me to take the anger management class, I'd take it. And then the next thing, what I would do if whatever happens is stay the hell away from people. Because, if there's a pattern where it seems like every time I interact with somebody, it's turning into a mess. I just don't, for me personally, I am constantly trying to look for ways to eliminate and remove chaos out of my life. And I understand that a lot of people.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. And I understand, I'm in a unique situation. I'm looking out my window right now. I'm living in a cul-de-sac. I've been here for 10 years. I don't really interact with my neighbors. I have their phone numbers and stuff, but it's like I'm not bumping into them very often. I'll be friendly when I come in, I'll wave at them, but I don't pull over and talk. And there's some stuff that's happening. There's some weirdness that happens in my neighborhood that in my little cul-de-sac where one of the neighbors is a little loud and likes to swear and yell at people in the house. And I just stay away from it. I'm in a point where I'm getting ready to, in a couple of years, I'm going to have to move from this place. And I'm really concerned about neighborhoods and neighbors and the environment I'm going to be in, and I'm not sure what my options are going to be, but as absolutely something I'm going to look at because I don't want any extra chaos in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Amen to that, Duane. Yes, I understand. And I moved away from that toxic environment because I believe that the reason they're pinning this on to me is because the neighbor prior to this one, she had an agenda with me too. So the younger one. This place, like I was telling you, is worse than Sodom and Gomorrah. The party all the time, the drugs,
is this
everything.
Now? I know we've chatted not offline and through email and stuff, and I know you've had other problems. Is this the same place that you keep having problems, or have you moved into another place and it's there are problems coming up now?
Oh no, I moved out of the city. I moved into Loveland, Colorado, which is way north of where I was. And this place is like heaven compared to there.
Oh,
the people leave you alone. They mind their own business.
So this isn't, is this not happening? Oh, okay. So where you're at now, you're not having this. This is residual for where you were before?
Right.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I moved away from there to get away
Good.
from these idiotic people because, the manager, she was coming at me telling me you're
I remember you
pounding
saying
on
that.
the
Okay.
wall.
Okay.
Well,
So,
I have proof.
but where
because
you're
I
at, but
have
where
two
you
shoulders.
are at now, this is not happening. You've moved
No.
away from the chaos.
Right.
Oh, thank God. I'm so glad
Not
to hear
happening.
that. Yeah. So I would just,
Yes.
you need to have that conversation with your attorney to find out really what it is. Right. And if they say, oh, you could spend 10 days in county jail. And unless you're okay with that, I wouldn't be. If that's the case and they're saying takes.
He did tell me.
Say that again?
He did tell me I wouldn't have any jail time.
Yeah.
No jail
Okay.
time.
Then
But
try to fight it.
I'm
And
still just,
what was that?
okay. I'm still just upset about the fact of her getting off scot-free and doing this in conjunction with the piggybackers that, that do that group up.
I tell you, the crazy thing is these people have a unique ability to manipulate the system and get away with it. It's time after time after time. I see that, maybe it's not all the time, but there's a lot of examples that I've run across where what you're talking about is exactly what happens. They get off scot-free. They're able to they're able to lie and manipulate the truth. And the next thing you know, it's like, they're not, it's, it's going the complete opposite direction.
I even have videos and pictures of all the nonsense of when they were screaming and yelling at me, where they were blocking my car. And it clearly states in the lease that it's a lease violation for them to block me from getting out of my carport.
Yeah. Now, you shared all this with your attorney. Is he going to use it during the trial?
Yes. Yes.
And does he feel like you have a pretty strong case to win this?
Well, I don't know, Duane. I'm going to have to do what you suggested to go back to talk to him, because I specifically asked him if the venue could be changed, and he said, why? And I said, because I don't feel that the court is going to be giving me a fair trial because of the hatred that the cops have for me, number one. And it's in the same building as the police department. So what chances of, do I have of winning this? And he said, well, the hatred from the cops department on you doesn't give you a right to change the venue. Right.
Yeah. No, he's right. And you got to be careful what you ask for, because sometimes it makes you, it hurts your credibility. Right. So I would, unless you do not trust your attorney, I would have a serious conversation with them about strategy, and then make the best decision, going forward. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, if it's going to cost me, because it's already cost me $3,000 in attorney's fees, which is totally insane. I shouldn't have to be paying anything, but he did try to get it dismissed before it got this far. But I think I should fight it, because this continues. I mean, it's everywhere.
and the sad part is that for the prosecutors and stuff, I mean, it's their job, right? They're paid to do this and show up and do a job. So it's not, I mean, it's a hardship for you, but for them, I don't really think they have a compassion for it. They're like, well, we're not sure. We'll just adjudicate it in court, and for them, it's like, all right, it's just a day at the office. For you, it's stress and anxiety and all that kind of stuff. So, so did that help, Si?
I was thinking along the Yes, it did, Duane, because I was thinking along the lines what you had said about, throwing stuff out there about the mentally ill. Now, if I were to throw that on her, it would have been reversed on me. So this is, once again,
and here's the thing: if this isn't like, I mean, if they were trying to have you committed or something like that, whatever. But if they're going to make stupid allegations, again, talk to your attorney to make sure see what's going on, and really it's going to focus on whatever the district attorney is prosecuting, going after you on, right? I mean, so, right. So, I mean,
I don't see how they can use prior, me calling the police on prior 10. I don't see how they can use that since
Well,
they all piggyback, and that's not what.
And here's the one advantage you have, kind of, right? I mean, not that this scenario is anything positive about it, but one nice thing about what you're going through now with it being criminal is they'll actually do evidential hearings and they'll actually process it that way. And they'll actually look at the facts, right? I mean, it's not going to be based on emotion or judicial discretion in family court. So you have a lot more, kind of what the word I'm looking for, just
leverage,
and just, you can bring in your evidence because if they're going to run a trial, like, okay, typically in family court, we hear all the time where somebody comes in with a ton of evidence and the judge is like, I don't care. I don't even want to see it. I'm choosing you're wrong. And that's it. Well, you can't do that in family court, right? Not family court. You can't do that in criminal court. They're going to, have an opportunity. You're going to have an opportunity to run through the entire process, and your attorney is going to have the opportunity to present a case and cross-examine witnesses and bring other stuff up. So you probably have a much better potential for success in that. But again, absolutely, you need to have a conversation with your attorney and talk strategy and to get a really good idea or thought on what he feels how this is going to go and how strong their case is against you. Right? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I understand. You've been very helpful with that, Duane. I just, you've given me some comfort about this because
I'm glad to help.
I thought, okay, am I going down the wrong road with this?
No, I see what you're saying. And I'm just really glad to hear that you actually, because I know in the past when we talked, I know my advice was always to, just get away from this. And I'm so glad to hear that you are now in an environment that's not like this. So congratulations on that. And that should, other than this looming over your head, at least that much may make the holidays a little bit better.
Amen. Amen. I'm so happy for you too that I saw you and Debbie out camping and
yeah.
That looked like so much fun.
No, I've been doing good. I haven't been able to do it much lately, but definitely wanting to get more of it in. All right. Well, hey, thanks for calling, and I'm glad it was helpful.
You're welcome.
Anyway, let's see if my hotkeys work this time. Yay, it did this time. Awesome. So I think I have somebody who's going to call in on the video chat, but that hasn't happened yet. But what I do want to do is acknowledge our let's see here. I got, I wonder what this one is. This one's confusing me. So Tiffany did a super chat. Says, hit that like button. Wish I could join. Got the kid. Oh, that's awesome. I forgot that you get the kids this year. So thanks for saying hi and thanks for the support, Tiffany. I really appreciate it. And then there's something that popped up. I guess you've been a member for 16. Oh my God. I've had memberships open that long. Holy crap. She's even got the black finger. Let me see if I can pull this up. Where is it? Right here. Whenever you've been a member for a period of time, I can't make it zoom in. You get a black boop finger for the boop. That's the custom badges that I was talking about earlier. So thanks so much for the support, Tiffany. I really appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to you. And I hope that everything is going great with you and the kids and that everybody's feeling better, because I know you guys were under the weather a while ago. So let me see what I missed during the comments. I don't know what and Sai says, thank you again. I'm glad I could help, Sai. And again, I am really glad to hear that you're out of that environment, because I remember whenever you were going through that was not a good experience. All right, let's see here. Scrolling back. Yeah, I don't expect a lot of people. I see HC9 had to jump off a little while ago. I mean, this is kind of a... Oh, iTumblers came in. iTumbler says, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, iTumblers. Oh, I see what it was. Okay, so it just for whatever reason, the system recognized that Tiffany had been a member for 16 months. I wasn't sure. It popped up differently on the other chat I was showing you. So that is cool. Nice that it does that. So I wonder if I'm gonna, let's try this for a second. I am going to take a quick little break again, because I've been having some issues lately. So so stand by, everybody. What I'll do is I'm going to just put this on here for right now, and I'll be right back. And hopefully I'll be able to bring somebody on here in a second. So stand by. As I trip over boxes. All right. And this is probably going to be a bad idea, but I want to show you guys something. If I can pull it off. I'm going to see if I can pull it up, I mean. I've been looking at houses. Interestingly enough, where I'm at, okay, that didn't work. No, not a search. I want to search on my saved. On my saved. This is probably going to be funny. Okay, so I have been looking at. I can't do it yet because I'm not solo. But what do you guys think of this? It's super small, right? 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 918 square feet. Basically a cabin, right? So, it's up in the mountains. It would probably snow on me, maybe not right now. But wouldn't that be a cool place? I was just thinking, if I didn't have the kids, if I was solo, and at one point earlier, a few months ago, it looked like there was a chance that I was going to be solo, I would so be interested in this place. No garage. That's part's kind of a bummer, but it's on an acre. Hold on, let me get on the inside. All right. Okay, we're not there yet. Doesn't that look cute? Could you guys see me there? Could you guys see me in this little place? I don't know how small it really is, right? I mean, I know 918 square feet is pretty damn small. And I mean, that's only one couch, but isn't this kind of nice? I think the 1 bedroom is right behind here, I think. So there's a kitchen, bathroom across from this room. That's the 1 bedroom. Anyways. Then it's got a loft. See, I mean, I could do my live streams up here. Right? Have a nice view. There's a tennis court. It's in a gated area. Gated area? It's up in the mountains. It's Bear Valley. See? Live stream area, right? Right here. This is the only part that I don't really like. This little door right there, and it looks like that's where the laundry room is. Let's see. Kuna says, DSC, that's a cool place, a dream. Go for it. The problem is that, I still have people living with me, and there's no way we could put 1 or 2 other people there. So, but I mean, the problem is right now, I don't know about for you guys, but isn't that pretty? So it's up in the mountains, out of the desert. Closer to, oh, wow, I could zoom it in. It's closer to Debbie. This is the place right here. Is the tennis courts area I was telling you about. And there's like a little clubhouse thing over there. This is it. So it's got I don't know what the property line is, but whatever it is, it's a little over an acre. I mean, I could even like put a garage or something right there, right? I could add an extra little garage. But, I mean, the key is that the price is a little bit lower. Everything else is so freaking expensive, you know? But I could see me sitting out here having a cup of coffee. I don't know why I'm showing you any, any internet there. Wise. Here's the deal. This area, I could live in I could live in this cabin, right? I'm trying to point. I could live in that cabin right there. And I could get fiber optics, 1 gig up, 1 gig down for like $80 a month. Fiber to the house. That entire area has been outfitted with fiber. I have a friend of mine who lives up in that area, and his standard service is a gig up, a gig down. I get my stated service for wherever I'm living right now is 940 meg down and 40 meg up, which I kind of get. Anyways, isn't that kind of cool? Oh, dude. Why? Okay, sorry. I'm commenting, but I'm not letting anybody else who's watching. The Wise chat manager says, "Dang, that's awesome." I know, man. Oh, I would love it. I mean, I could do the YouTube stuff. It'd be fast to upload videos. It'd be cool. It would absolutely be pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't know you played tennis. I don't. And you know what's so funny is I've effed my shoulder up that I cannot put this arm behind my back, and I can barely raise it. Like this one, I can scratch the back of my head. This one, oh fuck. Yeah, not so much. That'll be part of 2022, going to the doctor and figuring out if what the heck happened there and what we can do to potentially fix it. I mean, it doesn't hurt as much as it did earlier this year. I mean, before, what I just did would have caused shooting pain, and it would have been a lot less fun. But even with all that, I am, maintaining a pretty darn good attitude and not letting any of this extra crap get me down. I keep focused on the positive and what I can do and what I am having fun with. And that is what is important. Man, I was kind of hoping that Merge was going to be able to pop on, but I may have to go here soon because I absolutely do not want to be streaming whenever everyone comes back. And I'm not sure. 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Actually, they could be coming back soon. I should double check. Let me see if I can figure that one out. So I'll ask that question. Try to get an answer there. Oh, 20 minutes? Oh man, that's a bummer. Yeah, that could be a problem. He'd sent me a note about 10 minutes ago that it'd be 10 minutes. Or 20 minutes ago. Oh well. Oh, might be jumping in now. Ooh, frozen shoulder. It sounds like a physical therapist was sorted out. That'd be cool if I could get it fixed without that. Okay, so I am going to where'd the button go? So now I got to remember how to do all this stuff. Let me see if I can. I'm going to go into preview mode, which will give me the opportunity to change some things up. Man, it's been a while since I've used this, so I'm not. Oh, that didn't help me. Oh, that's because that's what's showing me live. So standby 1. Okay, that didn't work. That didn't work. Maybe it's this one. And I'd have to, you know what? I'm just going to cheat and I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to say add right. Let's see. And it says you're muted. How do I assign you? Guest one. That didn't work. Let me try that again. Hey, can you hear me? I cannot hear you. Oh, hold on. I got to go back to live. I got to publish this and go to live mode. Maybe that'll fix it. Back to live. Nothing. I cannot hear you. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Hey, there we go. Maybe.
1 2 3. How are we doing?
Pretty good. You are super zoomed in. Did I do that or did you do that?
Can you've done that? Can you go out a little bit?
Let me see. I think so. Let me go over here. Nope, wrong button. Let me go click here. And I got to click on you. Yeah, it is me. I did that. So there we go. All right, you're a little bit better.
More.
That's it. That's it. You're full screen, man. Is it?
Are you kidding, dude? No way. Hold on. Let's have a look here.
I mean,
there we go. That's
well, but now I'm.
There we go.
But you're not full screen though. You're like.
Yeah, but what are you doing? Are you doing like a Instagram?
This is CBS.
A thing? Okay.
Hey, dude, what's going on,
Duane.
man?
What's going on? It's Christmas. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everybody listening.
I see you're more festive than I am. I see you got candles in the background. I'm just in my normal little thing.
Dude, I'm somewhere near the Grinch and Scrooge. Okay, I kid you not.
Not allowed.
Yeah, and I don't have my daughter with me, so I spent Christmas alone today. Totally fine. Totally happy with that. She's coming on tomorrow, so I'm very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful to, just for the end of all the crisis. And it's been exactly a year since I've spoken to you on this channel live.
Wow!
But this time,
that's been
I'm not going to ask you to take the video down. That's the difference.
I was looking at that the other day. That's the one video that I have a copyright infringement strike on.
Yeah, well, what can we say? And this year, us supporters of you didn't get together and do a big surprise and all the rest of it. So it's not to say we don't love you or need you or appreciate you anymore. I think it's just been a really crap year. It's been a shizer year for me.
Yeah.
And I'd like to talk about that a little bit. My situation is such that the whole problem has gone away now. It's completely safe. I cannot go online and mention names and mention case numbers and things like that. But I think if I treated the anonymity as best as I could, at least I get to just say how the year was and exactly what happened. So basically, you'll know that everything's been resolved. There's just no more crisis. But I have to say that being in court for 8 years, struggling with this thing since 2013. So in 2014, when the first orders came out, that should have been the end of it. That should have been the end of it. If it was you and I or me and somebody else, it would have been the end of it. But I think, I never chose well. But the point being that it's taken 8 years to get to where we are now.
Yep.
And essentially what that is, that's an order which highly discourages anyone from going back to court again. It acknowledges that these are the very, very best circumstances. And I have to say that I arrived at that in a negotiation in the 11th hour because I had a lot to say. But I hadn't written anything. I hadn't sent anything in, and I was holding back on it just simply because I had decided that this was going to be the end of it. You could not continue your life any further. When I mentioned it on one of your live streams, I think in the comments, people were just so confused that it would take 8 years. A reasonably intelligent person take 8 years to get to where you should have been on day one, So what's actually happened is you would expect that I would immediately go out and it's disco with all my friends and huge celebrations. The opposite happened. I hit quite a low. Once I'd realized that the fight was over, I hit a major slump. And that was, how long ago was that, Duane? About 4 months ago? 5 months?
Yeah, has it been that
Yeah, 4
long?
5.
You might be right.
Yeah, it's about 4 or 5 months. And I got to say, emotionally, I've just been in a bit of a decline since then. And I've spoken to some people, one or two trained therapists, others who I trust, who just reinforce the idea that this is what happens with complex PTSD.
Yeah.
I've
Yep.
spent all those years having sleepless nights,
Yep.
worrying about every single contact, that it was going to be sabotaged. Every single Christmas, that there was never any reciprocal goodwill or anything like that. And I really went beyond, over and above my duty as a co-parent to
Yeah.
ensure that the arrangements were smooth. I felt, obviously, man, we all feel terrible that the love relationship breaks down. Okay, but
Right.
very quickly I got over that and realized, well, the most important aspect of my life now is my child. I had my daughter very late in life, actually, and I moved to Britain to raise her. And that's a huge investment, it's a huge investment in time and effort. And I just took it upon myself to want to give my daughter a happy, unencumbered, free, true childhood. Okay. And having to do that in amongst all the shenanigans, amongst all the court, I mean, you need to appreciate here there are 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there were 4 final orders, and those came about after about 46. I think it was 46, 48 appearances and hearings.
Yeah.
Okay. All to do with allegations of, you can just use your imagination. Okay. So the allegations ranged from, that I was a violent person, which is not true. That there was some deficiency in my parenting, which is absolutely not true. To the sort of gaslighty things. In other words, I would be accused of doing what the other person had done. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
So, the mirroring and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it drove me crazy. Physically, my body's reacted in a way where, having such adrenal flows for so many years, my legs, my calves have swollen up. I used to have quite tight calves, so the calves have swollen up. I'm retaining water there, and I must say now I sleep pretty easy, but there's just that underwhelming feeling to the whole conclusion, and I've gone through so many phases, I've spoken to so many of the right people as to what might be going on, and it just seems like, there was no way that I was going to get maybe what we all fantasize about, which is true vindication, that somebody would discover the truth, that there would be a judge who's curious enough to look a little deeper, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Ultimately, it's the most humbling yet humiliating experience one can have in life, And I always had faith that this was going to happen, that this was going to be the outcome. It was getting very, very close to the time. In fact, it had crossed that barrier where my daughter was then able to sort of make up her own mind, and her feelings and wishes would carry great weight, So I think the other side recognized also what I had possibly amassed in terms of, evidence. And my approach to the court at that time is, it was just 4 or 5 months ago. My approach to the court is, this is enough. The only way that these shenanigans will ever stop. The only thing that would keep this family out of court is a change of custody, change of residence. And I'm really pleased that it never got to that, because I could never be that parent that seeks to have control over the other, seeks to dominate them, seeks to hurt them, regardless of what it's doing to the poor child. But I think I'm very grateful that my daughter's been resilient. I never wanted to test that resilience ever. She's intelligent. Our relationship is one where we've been able to speak, obviously age appropriately, about what's really going on. I've always believed that it's better just to discuss these things, again, very age appropriately.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine just how insecure a child feels when they see their world changing around them and nobody's giving them a straight answer as to what it is. So I suppose that's her cross to bear, and I think I've been extremely lucky in choosing my child. I wasn't that smart at choosing my wife, but so yeah. Now what I've got to do really is truly try and rebuild, and I feel like I'm doing it from a very low ebb, But I think to anyone who's hearing my story now, don't feel discouraged. I'm the guy that always says never give up. The love that you have with your child is guaranteed to last for the rest of your life. The love that you have for a spouse, partner, a wife, a husband, it is conditional love. Let's be honest. Otherwise there wouldn't be this crisis in family courts all over the world. And I think with the rise of just all this nonsense, social media, TikTok-y, the world's become highly narcissistic, and it's encouraged. So my big goal was to raise my daughter who would grow up with a good sense of self, not be scarred so much by the circumstances of her upbringing that she would then repeat that nasty cycle in her own life, and that, look, everyone's got a buggered up childhood, let's be honest, Duane. I mean, was yours perfect?
No, it wasn't.
I think our generations have exceeded what our parents did, in terms of having tactile love with your children and developing one-on-one relationships. I was sort of brought up by Victorian parents who just they didn't seem to need to really get to know me well,
Yeah.
So I think we are better parents than our parents.
Oh
were.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Generally speaking.
Touche. Yeah.
But there is that, I suppose there's on the one hand, there's that feeling that you, as a parent, you just want to, you're responsible for bringing new life into the world, and you want to do the very best you can. And then there's this one thing that nobody told you about that you could never have imagined in your wildest dreams, that it could go this tits up, that it can get that bad, that acrimonious. Now, I mean, for anyone who's going through this, and you keep mentioning, and I really feel for people who are new into this.
Yeah.
Do you remember the different levels of awakening that I had, from when we first met?
No, I mean, just for everyone watching, I mean, you're one of the early people on the channel. I mean, I think you and I were talking probably before I was maybe 500 people. I mean, you've been around a long time. So we've had, I've been able to witness you go through a lot.
Yeah. I mean, how many times did I say, go to court, it's solid, I'm going to win. That's it. Yeah. It's over.
Yep.
How many times did I say that? And then call you later and say, Jesus, I didn't expect
I know.
that.
Yeah, I know. Well, and I want to circle back around with something you said when you briefly hit at the beginning of this. And this is something that's really important that people really need to understand is you can finally have a victory, which you did. And like you said, you should feel like you're ready to go out and party and have a great time, and it should be smooth sailing. But it's like all that pent up energy that has been sitting there stewing for years catches you when you're off guard. And typically it catches you in a way where it just drives you down into serious depression. And I mean, I've gone through that. I to be perfectly honest, and I think we may have talked about this offline. I got 2 more years basically until family court's basically done and all my kids are adults. And in theory, they're all going to be, outliving their lives. And there's a part of me that's wondering, okay, when this is truly over, when it's done, what is going to happen? Am I going to be able to, go out and party not party, I don't party, but I mean, is it going to be smooth sailing for them? Or is there going to be this stereotypical residual blast, I guess, for lack of a better word, that happens that just really, that I'm going to have to go through? And I hope not. I don't want to go through it. I didn't want you to have to go through it. I mean, what you've gone through does not surprise me. I guess that's what I'm getting back to is people need to understand that even when you get to the other side of this, there is probably going to be a period of time where all the pent up feelings that you have not been able to process just come crashing down, and it just really floors you. And
Listen,
you've been having a hard time with that.
There is no way to avoid
Yeah.
the inevitable, and that is that to get through any problem, you've got to actually go through it.
Yep.
Okay. I think anyone who's on this channel who has similar problems to us or similar experiences to us
Right.
is more likely an empathetic person, more likely the more emotional person in the relationship, more likely the person who's able to take on bigger burdens than just winning.
Yeah.
Okay? For the sake of winning, regardless of the collateral damage, regardless of who it's hurting.
Right.
Okay? So we're not wired that way, which means we take things on far deeper. If I think back to the hardest times that I've had in the last 8 years, and I've shared many of them with you, just the craziness of it all, when the community around you has heard a narrative about you that is so completely wrong. And I feel like I really, okay. So the one thing that has stressed me out, the one thing that has, I think, put a lot of mileage on me is the fact that I wanted to maintain a healthy household for my daughter. I'm trying to teach her how to have healthy relationships. So I had to take every situation I was going through, and you just take 46 or 48 hearings, whatever the number is. You put that over an 8-year period. That's a shitload of court. You're always preparing. You're just literally always writing, statements and things. And all the while, you're checking up on the shenanigans. You're making sure that you're not falling into the traps. Then you make a mistake and you take 3 steps back, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know where I was going with this, what I'm saying is, for me then to maintain a healthy household, or at least to the best of my ability, to really try and do well in the nuances of parenting, where parenting really counts, and that's it's the bedtime stories, it's encouraging literature and science and whatever your thing is, it's that close, intimate time that you have with a child, where the child feels loved and nurtured. Okay, more than a Christmas present, more than a trip to Disney.
Oh yeah,
that's the stuff that they're going to remember, and I think it becomes a part of their moral fiber. I see that with my daughter, and I'd always said that. Okay, well, if my input with her is 50%, then it better well be the good 50%. It better be the good half.
Exactly.
But the thing is, when you're being gaslit like that, let's say you're the most effective parent, or your parenting is very effective, yet you've got this one personality who can damage your relationships with the important stakeholders. So it's family, it's school, it's the court, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then you've got to fight so hard just to I'm starting to not make sense now, Duane. But essentially, what it is
I mean, you are. I mean, what you're saying is you're in the middle of this fight and you're trying to deal with it. And I think one of the things that you did that's really helped you is from the beginning and throughout this whole thing, you've had a solid, really good relationship with your child.
Yeah.
Every time you had her, like you said, when she walked through the door, you had your game face on, and she was seeing, she wasn't seeing this. Well, for the most part, you were keeping the stress and the anxiety away from her. When she would leave, you would deal with that, and you were focused solely on the relationship with your child. Now, that doesn't mean you were so focused solely on every time you had her convincing her that what her mom was trying to do. No, you weren't doing that. You were how to. I mean, we've had conversations, with what you've done with her, and you've taken her out, and like the stuff you've done with the space stuff, and the stuff you've done with the camping and the bushcraft stuff, and all these different things to make a solid relationship with your daughter, and the benefit. And the dividends, I guess I'll say, the dividends of this is that when your situation with your ex kept ramping up, all the things that the ex was trying to do, that all exes typically try to do to destroy your relationship, she couldn't do it because you've already had that strong relationship. Now, in contrast to that, what I'll tell you is, like in my situation, I was focused on countering what she was doing, not by focusing on the kids.
Me too. I wasted so much time with that.
Well, I wasted so much time trying to prove to the kids that, what was being said wasn't true, or that, when I was seeing that they were being manipulated, how do I attack that frontally? And I was falling right into the trap. What I was doing was actually making my relationship with the kids worse. If I would have done from the beginning, and this is what I preach on the channel.
Because then you've drawn them into the conflict, you see.
Exactly.
The moment you do that, you've drawn them into the conflict, and then you're just as bad as the other fucking parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
sorry.
Exactly. No. You
Demonetized your stream. Sorry.
Well, whatever. Merry Christmas to
what? I reserve it. I reserve the expletives for when they're truly appropriate.
And it is.
Irony, Duane. The irony is that narcissistic people are unable to love unconditionally.
Yep.
They're unable to, and that's why they're totally prepared to damage their children.
Yep.
To make a point, to beat a spouse, to for financial gain, whatever the problem is.
Exactly.
Thankfully, and I've got to fix this now. For the last 4 or 5 months, it's been great. It's been the cooperation has been excellent.
Well, you guys are actually now kind of co-parenting. I mean, you still can't trust her completely, but you are not dealing with the same BS that you were dealing with before. And I still think.
Let me put it this way: I can trust 100% that the next person from this family who goes to court to raise some other new issue is going to be the person who loses.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I made it very, very clear that enough is enough.
Yeah. And you.
And the judge has to concede to that. So she was very gracious actually to do this, or to accept that and not to go further. I mean, I've discussed it with you privately, never online. But some of the stuff that went through court was just ridiculous. I mean,
right? Yeah.
How everything transpired is it's in the past now. It's history. The problem is that I've got to rebuild. I wasn't, and this is something that everyone must remember. She was always trying to encourage the court to open my medical records, making the allegation that I've got some sort of emotional problems.
Right.
Okay. And actually, just the threat of that, it was never entertained. The judges never went for it. But just because of the threat of that, I actually did need some, call it psychological or counseling help. And I didn't get it because it would have landed on my
because you didn't want to accidentally use it. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean,
No, I understand what you're saying.
Every time I've tried to explain what we've been discussing now to anybody, like to an outsider, to somebody who's
they don't know what the hell you're talking about. They look at you like you probably have a third arm growing out of your head.
It's sort of like, oh, that sounds a little bit like Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
I love you, man, as a friend, but you're You have no freaking idea. And have you heard nothing in the last 7 years? Have you actually heard nothing?
Man,
I was getting
it's
really
so, but it's
resentful
so
towards my
tough
friends because nobody could get it.
Well, until you've been through it, you don't understand it. You don't think, well, one, you just don't, you don't understand that this type of crap can happen and that it can happen just because somebody is just got a screw loose, right? I mean, and that's the reality of it.
Look, anyone who's watching this stream, anyone who regularly, views your channel, okay, needs your help, needs to understand that we're in a very unfortunate part of history.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The courts, psychiatry, counseling, even the police, all the institutions around us haven't actually acknowledged that narcissistic abuse is a thing.
I know.
Okay,
so
it's early days. Imagine being a schizophrenic Freud.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point to put it.
I mean, a couple of 100 years prior to that, you'd just get burned on the stake, of course, because you're evil, you're a witch.
Yeah, exactly.
And something leading up to that, in Henry VIII's time, in the Tudor period, that probably would have given you some, juniper berries crushed with, ram's horn or whatever.
Yeah.
Some sort of weird little mooty. And then, finally, the talking therapies, I think are what really helps. So,
yeah.
I'm going to be going back into CBT because I've got to. This has now affected my business. It's affected, my relationships, my social relationships. I had to be quite candid with my daughter to say, look, emotionally, I'm not like on top of the world right now. And luckily, we've got a relationship where we can discuss it. It's better for her as an individual to understand that I have depression, that I manage it, that I work with it, so that if she sees me, I don't act out. It's the opposite of acting out, But
at least she can recognize and understand it's an issue and understands that there's ways to deal with it, right?
For what it is. Understand it for what it is. And I live in a country where people don't talk about their feelings, particularly men. But in Britain, I don't know if anyone on the stream right now is from England, Ireland.
I'm going to jump Scotland. Real quick. I'm going to leave it with you for a minute. I'll be right back. So stand by.
You're going for a pee?
Yeah, pretty much.
Gee. Okay, well, I'll read the comments in the meantime. Thanks for ditching me, brother. Where's the chat? Hey, by the way, I'm going to get off. I think I've been on for quite a long time now. Is anyone planning on calling in? Just leave a comment if you don't mind, because then when Duane gets back, I'll wind it up with him. But I really did need to try and tell the story, which is really important to me, because I think what I was saying about the wellness and the psychiatric and the psychology and the court industry and just all these people that are around family breakups and child arrangements. I think it's going to take a long time before there's any recognition, and I think before there's any real help. So possibly we're in the best place right now, and people like Duane and a few others on YouTube creating these communities where we help each other. It's the best deal in town right now. You cannot go to any professional, put down your money, and they will see you through this. Very likely, I don't know if anyone else has got this experience, but I've been to several therapists who just didn't get it.
Yeah.
Or they don't believe in the model. Oh, you're back, Duane. Hello.
Yes, I am. Sorry about that.
Okay, so I've actually just suggested that if anyone wants to call in, I'll be glad to pop off.
Actually, I'm going to have to go because my kids are going to be coming back any minute now. And I can't exactly be doing a live stream when they walk through the door. So So I am going to have to wrap things
Well,
up anyways.
why don't you just put your cowboy hat on the door? Then they know not to come. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway, Duane, thanks for letting me tell the story.
No, man, I think it's
if it was-
important. I'm glad you.
I don't even
I'm
know
glad
if
you
it
shared
came
it.
across. I don't even know if it came across coherently or not. I'm very grateful for the situation as it is now. I was always very grateful for every moment that I spent with my daughter previously, but now I'm dealing with the fallout. It's a real thing, and it's amazing.
It is.
Like there's so many of us in your community who are in different stages of this, and I guess just the reason why I wanted to come on and just out the issue is because it's just probably one of the many stories that could hopefully strike a chord with somebody who needed to hear that one thing that one day.
And it's super important to talk about that because see, this is the reason why I do talk about this a lot, and I'm glad that you brought this up, is because everyone thinks the normal response when you finally get to the other side of this, or you have a victory, or it's over, or whatever, is that you have like a release, a relief, and everything is smooth sailing. And unfortunately, that isn't the case. And I'll tell you, the first time that what you're talking about, the first time this happened to me, it sent my depression completely spiraling out of control. I went from feeling good to feeling like everything was a lot. I mean, like even the illusion of things getting better was never going to happen. And it set me up for some of the darkest times I've ever had in my life. And nobody told me, hey, dude, whenever you finally get to the other side of this, and when you finally get to the normal, get to the place to where you feel like it's over, that's when your mind and your body sucker punches you and says, hey, guess what? That 2 to 3 to 5 to 7 years of experience that you really haven't had a chance to deal with is now all your mind is going to say, okay, I'm safe now. So now I can process it. But the reality is that if you don't understand that it's normal, you're going to feel like you're losing your fucking mind, and it's going to make things worse. Right. So I'm glad you said it.
And I'm back. But yeah,
you are
Duane,
back.
Let me pop off so you can finish your show. Again, thanks for having me on. Thanks to everyone. Sorry it's taken so long, but I hope it gives somebody some value. Yeah. And catch you guys soon. Merry Christmas to you and your children, and wonderful New Year. But hopefully we'll have a stream before then. Thanks, Duane.
Yep.
Will you cut me off?
I will. Whoops, and I did it incorrectly. There we go. All right, guys. Hey, you know what? I mean, I know this was kind of a casual thing. I hope you guys appreciated what he said. Somebody else, let me see. Let me scroll back here. Actually, I do need to recognize Puff Jr. Let's see here. Became a channel member. I think I should be able to. Let me see if I can search so I can put it up on the screen. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. It says Puff Jr. just became a member, and then also asked. Who's your friend? That's used to go by the name Merge. He's been a long member of the channel, and I've known him. Actually, he was one of the early, like pre-500 subscriber people who've been on the channel. So he's been on the channel for a long time. And let me get my name off there. And so every once in a while, and last year he coordinated a special event for everything. Now, and I get the difference, like, he was talking about earlier about not doing that. I haven't been able to do as much as I used to be able to do. So it's like hit and miss when I'm able to go live and stuff like that. I do intend to do some more member stuff, like using a Zoom call type thing. Like I said, I was planning on doing that today. Because of the Christmas break and how much time the kids spend with their mom and stuff, there's a small window, and it's just the time just really evaporated. But on that, if I can do this correctly, let me see if I can remember how to do all this stuff. I want to say thanks to everyone who supports the channel. Is it going to play this time? There we go. It's playing. Thanks everybody who has hit the button, hit the join button, picked a level, and announced that they support what's going on here. I appreciate that. You guys help keep the lights on, keep things going. And the support is definitely humbling. On that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and hopefully get to spend some time with your kids.